Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another reading. Well, Christmas is soon approaching, so Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope you're gonna have a blessed Christmas. I guess I can give an introduction to this reading. Before I start, though, I just want to shout out anyone who's not got certain privileges at Christmas. Like, something that came to my mind is that there's all different types of privilege. We're used to hearing terms like pretty privilege and maybe even financial privilege, privilege of class. But there's also kind of like privilege of like social, the privilege of love. And kind of where I'm getting at with this is that the intro that I'm about to give does actually show that I have some form of privilege, that I actually have a family who's kind of loving. I have friends who care about me, and I think that's maybe the side of Christmas that's uncomfortable for some people, is that sometimes the reality of that is harsh. And when you're in that privilege, it's even difficult to realize that, some people don't even have those basics. Some people don't have the luxury of having a living parent. So shout out to anyone who's going through those silent discomforts, because it was something that kind of crossed my mind before doing this reading, that some people don't have some of those foundations that we take for granted. So anyways, I wanted to share something with you with that intro, for the intro out of the way. Last year I had probably the most impactful, amazing Christmas of my whole life. And the reason for that is because I actually had my first Christmas by myself. Now you might be wondering, oh my gosh, Zed, what's going on with Zed? What a recluse. What a Scrooge. What's going on with Zed now? Why am I still listening to this guy? Well, why it was amazing for me is because I always I always realized I had big balls in this world. But this was almost like, for me at least, and there's always new tests in life, but this was one of my final tests to see how big my balls were. And it was kind of the last kind of test, at least, that I could see where I was like, why aren't I doing that? It's, yeah, it's because your balls need to get bigger there. And sorry, I'm probably using the wrong metaphors, but hopefully you're still staying with me. Um, so yeah, I realized from a very early age, you could say as early on as hitting puberty, that Christmas to me somewhat got like a bit fake. It was a bit of a stage, and it kind of represented something to me, which was like, yeah, this day we're going to show that we care about our family. But for me, I felt like a stronger foundation to show that would be consistency day in, day out, that you care about your family. The whole idea of Christmas didn't really make much sense to me. So for a very long time, I had wanted to experience Christmas by myself. I think to kind of distill how I felt. I felt it just like on a soul level. I felt like Christmas, for one, I felt like the day that Christmas actually hit, I didn't necessarily feel like it was a super impactful day, like the 25th of December. I I can think of other days of the year which are way more spiritually impactful than the 25th of December. Instead, Christmas kind of gave me this a little bit of an airy feeling. It always gave me the feeling more personally of reflection, the feeling of connecting with God, silence, almost peace, meditation. So I don't want it to get confused here. Like, the reason for me wanting to spend it by myself wasn't necessarily to avoid my family. It was that I wanted to experience Christmas in a way that aligned with my soul. The part where my big balls came into the equation is that in doing so, it was going to take courage to explain to my family that I didn't want to spend Christmas with them this year because I wanted to be by myself. That usually triggers people's egos. Now, I know everyone listening might have different types of family. Some people might have no relationships with their family at all, or bad relationships with their parents. So they might hear this and go, "Oh, that's easy for me to say that to my parents." Or, your parents might be arseholes, so, it might be easy for you to do that. But, you know, our family relationship is pretty cool. So there's a sense of ego that gets involved when you say, I don't want to spend Christmas with you guys this year because I want to be by myself. That is not saying, I can't be here. I can't be with you guys for Christmas this year because I'm with my partner, or I can't be with you guys for Christmas this year because I'm going on holiday. I'm doing something different. I'm not going to see you guys for Christmas because I'm doing something cool with my friends. They're kind of easier things to put by, at least your family, I think. But when you're saying the reason for me not wanting to be with you for Christmas is because I actually want to be by myself, sometimes people can make assumptions, make judgments, and kind of take it personally. So that was the first thing that I was proud of. And then secondly, the thing that I was proud of is often when we have the topic of Christmas, there's a lot of these social, I don't know what to call them, but these social nuances that go on around Christmas, which is like, for example, if I was to ever say, yeah, I'm just spending Christmas by myself this year because I want to, like, I don't know, again, I don't know who's listening on the other side of this, but you would be really, really, really surprised how many people think there's something wrong with you for making a statement as simple as that. Now, hopefully you listening to this just thinks that that's, oh, cool, like Zed done his thing this last year for Christmas. But just know, like, at least have the awareness to know that most people, in fact, unless if you don't have an excuse like, oh, well, I'm Muslim or I'm from a different religion, I don't believe in Christmas. Most people can't quite understand or quite easily judge why someone would want to spend Christmas by themselves when they could be with their family. They just judge. So that was the second thing that I wanted to test myself with, challenge myself with, like dispel that last kind of challenge to myself, that having the courage to speak it honestly to my family, and then secondly, having the courage to speak it openly to other people. It's a common saying nowadays that everyone's saying, I don't care what other people think about me, until they do. Do you know what I mean? Like, this was a good one for me to really test that. So, like I said, last year was one of the best Christmases I've ever had because, like the saying that comes to mind, which is completely wrong. I was able to put my money where my mouth was, but it was like almost I was able to put, because it's not to do with money, but the saying it's got that same punch to it of what I'm trying to say. But I was able to just speak it and do it, you know. I was able to be about it. Probably is the easiest way to explain it, at least in our London slang. I was about it last Christmas. So the Christmas itself was everything that I thought it was going to be. Probably a bit more intense than I thought. So spending Christmas by myself, I was able to really get into a meditative state. I was able to purge a lot as well. And by that, I don't just mean spiritually, but I mean physically. Like I listened to my body, and the days before Christmas, I remember I was even fasting. And I treated myself to like a nice meal on Christmas. But I remember that I'd never had that urge to fast before Christmas Day. And it kind of gave me a sense of understanding maybe the tradition of Christmas a little bit better, because it was like this, it was the feeling of gratitude for a good meal. But I had actually fasted before, so I was able to appreciate it even more. I wouldn't have kind of been intuitively drawn to do that if I was around my family. I also spent a lot of time like reading. I spent a lot of time like just receiving downloads from spirit. It was very quiet. The area that I was in, I'm not sure if you're familiar, whoever's on the other end of this, is that around Christmas, the Christmas period, people often travel to see their family. So depending on what city you're in, cities or towns can often turn into a little bit of a dead town because everyone's grouped together in one place. And that was obviously to my benefit. I was in a space where it was just peaceful. There wasn't many people around that time. So I was able to reflect in that way too. Kind of just going for a walk was a different experience. I was able to do some shadow work even during Christmas. I know it sounds like a weird thing to be happy for, but like I said, this was almost one of those last chapters for me where I can't really think of anything in my life now where I can say there's something I don't do, because I'm a bit unsure to do it. Like I can't think of something that's authentically something I want to do. But yeah, let's call a spade. Too afraid to actually do it, to expose myself in that way. I can't think of anything. That was the last hit piece on my list, is living or experiencing Christmas in the way that I wanted to experience it. So yeah, it was a beautiful thing. And I don't know, I feel like maybe this could inspire anyone out there who maybe feels the same way. I'd also say to pay attention also, like one thing that it gave me, I think I did touch on it in the intro, but pay attention to the vibration of days. So like, sometimes what I find is that society celebrates a certain day and it doesn't actually match the vibration of the actual day. Like, it kind of came to me on Christmas that like the actual vibration of Christmas is more like what people experience during Mass. Like when you see the little baby Jesus, and it's like dark, and there's the star above in the sky. Like, at least for me, how I felt it intuitively, Christmas is actually more of that vibration. And for most of my life, the vibration of Christmas was like, let's cut straight to the chase. Like, the vibration of Christmas for me mainly was about the feast. and socializing. I got quite a big family, so it was always about good food and seeing my big family. That was it. So there was a stripping back for me, and I know that this isn't going to necessarily align with everyone, but it's an opportunity for you to look at how you're celebrating Christmas, or even not even Christmas, but the day, and what that means to you. So it's not to say that I'm going to be spending the rest of my Christmases in this way, but it was a big, like last Christmas last year. It was a big day for me, or a big period, because I was able to be myself authentically, and I was able to kind of challenge some of my last demons, at least for now. So like I said, kind of the parting words, however you're spending Christmas this year, if it's by yourself, if it's with your family, if it's with a loved one, hope you have a blessed time. Remember, even if you are by yourself, there's an opportunity there to make it beautiful. To focus on your self-love and focus on your connection with Spirit, God, Allah, whoever it may be. There's an opportunity there. So yeah, I'm going to get stuck into the reading. It's going to be on a new chapter. So I guess Christmas also marks the coming of an end of a year, at least the approaching of an end of a year. And I know that's debatable depending on what calendar system you use, but generally in the West at least, the end of December marks the end of a year. So this is going to be a new chapter. Get yourself strapped in. Hope you was able to take something away from the intro. And we'll start with pile number ones. Okay, pile number ones, new chapter. What do you see? What do you feel? Pile number ones. Definitely the energy of musicians. I don't know, it's like I couldn't quite figure out. I feel like there's two parts to this pile. I feel like some of you are playing this guitar in solitude, peacefully. And I feel like some of you, there's almost take a freeze frame of this. I'm just trying to capture the silhouette there of other people. And there's some people who like you're almost playing for. Let's just check we're in center. Kind of, that'll do. So I want you to pay attention to that. You either fall in two camps. You're almost connecting with the music by yourself, or it's almost like you've got this audience who you're playing for. It could almost be the two stages as well, like practice and then performing, or training, then performing. So you might fall into that camp too. But there's a new chapter here for, I feel, my pole number ones where, you know, like, so if you're not a musician, just think about whatever craft you've been training, you're about to be performing, you know. Or maybe not, maybe you're performing for yourself. But either way, you're kind of almost mastering some kind of skill or hobby. Remember, that's not just limited to like a guitar here that I'm seeing, but like maybe some other instrument. It may be some other tool. You might be drawers like me. You may be singers. You may be beauticians. You may be lawyers. You may be doctors, healers. There's something here with the potential of training equals performing, training equals showcasing, training equals a bringing and attracting. So yeah, quite quick readings today, pile number ones, but I hope you got something from it. Please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and also check out the new Patreon too. Thanks for being here. Okay, pile number twos. Simple but beautiful, at least to me. There's been a reading or two like this before, not many. This is almost reminding me of someone going for like a walk at night time, like gazing at the moon. I think the most important thing in this whole reading is the positioning. This character is walking. It's so slight, and it definitely wasn't done necessarily on purpose. That was kind of just the channeling of the drawing, but it kind of expresses here someone, it's almost like intuitively walking. I guess you kind of do intuitively walk sometimes if you just say, I'm going to go for a random walk. You know, it's the walking down the roads that you've not been to before. And I feel like that moon is almost representing, I don't know, is it the North Star? The star that the three wise men followed. It's like that's your way back home. So I'd say pile number two is like your key words here is almost like reflective. You might be reflecting in this new chapter. But there's something where you're walking and reflecting. So you're actually doing something and reflecting. This isn't the man sitting at the top of the mountain in silence. This isn't maybe even the person in solitude. There's people, you know, possibly around this person. There's things around this person. Even if it's nature itself. But they are walking. They're in movement. They're not still. And it's almost like this person is taking glances back just to check in with spirit. You could almost link this as well to having like an anchor point. Pile number two is you might have found your anchor point with God. You know, it's like something to anchor you back with home. Or feeling at home. Feeling with God. Beautiful reading, sorry, pile number twos. quite quick readings today. Like I said, Merry Christmas. Hope you have a nice one. Have a nice day, even if you don't celebrate Christmas. Experience the energy of it. And yeah, please do keep supporting the channel, liking, commenting, subscribing. Also checking out ifyoupause.com and the new Patreon page. There's a link in the bio. Take care. Okay, finally pile number 3 is Merry Christmas, y'all. Damn, this one's deep. I feel like pile number 3, your new chapter, is kind of something to do with removing illusions. Maybe not even removing illusions. Let me reword that. Just like realizing illusions. It's like I get a vibe from this is that it's almost like someone watching a TV screen or a cinema screen. And I feel like my pile number 3 is you realize that there's the screen behind the screen behind the screen. But kind of you're still watching it, you know? So that's why I say it's not really removing. It's not removing illusions. It's realizing illusions. I almost want to draw like sorry for the large pauses. Pile number 3's. It's kind of just the drawing was growing more, you know. It's like I wanted to add more here because I feel like there was a feeling of almost loneliness in this, and despite my my introduction on me spending Christmas by myself last year, there wasn't that energy of loneliness here. So I wanted to add to this drawing because the vibe wasn't that, but it was giving me that vibe a little bit. So there may even be more of you who have woken up to this illusion as well. It's almost giving me vibes of, when people wake up to an illusion and you can at least use humor to accept it. You can at least use the power of humor to grasp what's going on. I feel like you might have found some form of connection with other people from waking up to this illusion. The interesting thing is the spirit's not giving me like a direct point of what this illusion is. Like, I feel for you, some of you, it might even be something to do with like your family or like I'm getting the vibe here of, when someone always acts in a certain way and your family kind of clock on to what they're doing. It's almost like spotting someone with some form of disorder, or catching someone out where everyone knows that they're a little bit crooked in the family or something like that, or manipulative. Like, it's not for everyone, but people can probably think of someone in their family who tries to manipulate, like puppeteer. It's like it's almost like you might have said, oh, look what this person's gonna do. And they do it. And everyone can kind of laugh about it because it's like catching someone red-handed. And then I feel like some of you, it might just be to the illusions of life. Like opening up to the matrix, to financial corruption or government power plays. You might find a community in that kind of area. For some of you, it might be just social. I think for me, that was one of my biggest openers to life, was human behavior. Is understanding the difference between what people say and how they actually act. What people say they like and then what they actually like. They can be like miles apart sometimes. When you find your crew in that's helpful, because it kind of removes bullshit. It kind of gives me the vibration here. Pile number 3 is definitely the longest reading. But it's like you can look at something and go, this is just entertainment. It's like you and this crew can understand that it's just entertainment. You're not really looking at it in a way that is truth. That doesn't maybe apply to everyone's example, but it's like, this is entertainment, it's not serious, it's not serious. Reminds me a little bit of a Joker, but hey, moving on. Pile number 3's definitely a cool reading. I think this was kind of some of my smarter bunch as well, because I feel like this is layered, quite literally layered. So before you take my last brain cell from me, of making me think too hard, I'm going to leave it here and just say, have a beautiful Christmas. Thank you for supporting the channel. I really do appreciate you out there. Keep supporting, liking, commenting, subscribing. Check out ifyoupause.com. And also check out the new Patreon, which is in the description. Take care.